Hello everyone, in this video let's talk about how to meditate properly. If you are a beginner of meditation, this is the video for you. Meditation is a very important part of the mindfulness besides the morality and the wisdom. But in this video we only talk about how to meditate properly. So usually we need to find a very comfortable environment to sit in, where we can enjoy the concentration without being disrupted. Usually we hope this environment should be quiet, because for the beginners, the noises and the sound can be a distraction. So we need to make sure that the place you are doing meditation should be quiet enough. So you can sit on a chair or you can just sit cross-legged. The gesture doesn't matter. As long as you feel comfortable, just sit there. And then we need to relax our body a little bit. After all this work and other busy life, we will find that a lot of part of the body are strained. That's why we need to relax it a little bit, like the forehead, the cheek, the chin, and just like doing this kind of stuff to make you feel relaxed. Also the neck and also the back, we can just relax a little bit. So it's very important, though it's optional, but I will really recommend relaxing it a little bit before we start the meditation. And then we close our eyes. So when we meditate, we focus on the breath. And why do we use breath as a meditation object? Because everybody is breathing, and breath is very neutral. We don't label as good or bad. And in many things in our life, we have a lot of associations. Some stuff can be associated with good, and something can be associated with bad. And to some extent, any kind of association with the object may be a problem, maybe a hurdle for us to concentrate on. So breath is a good object. And second, breath is a very rich activity. When we really focus on it, a lot of small details begin to unfold. So it's a good stuff we can focus on. So usually we can focus different parts of body which is relevant to breath. And the most common one is the nostrils. This part around our nose and the upper lips. And the other part is our belly. Because when we breathe in, breathe out, we can feel the rise and fall of belly very easily. But generally, I will recommend considering the nostrils as the first choice. So when we breathe in, we should focus the sensation around the nostrils. So we need to use our willpower to focus on it purposefully. So usually, the air around us has a lower temperature than our body temperature. So when we breathe in, the air has some kind of coolness, at least a touch of it. So when we breathe in, we can feel something like a coolness around the nostrils. Or you can also feel different kinds of sensations. As long as you focus on the nostrils, you begin to feel it in one way or another. And also very important is that when we breathe in, just notice you are breathing. This awareness is also important, and you have to maintain this awareness all through the meditation. So when you breathe out, you also need to notice that you are breathing out, and try your best to feel the sensation around the nostrils when you're breathing out. Because when the air comes out of the lung, it has been warmed by the body already, so it's not so cool. actually is when we begin to focus on it for enough time, we begin to feel something like warmth or any kind of sensation. So as long as you keep focusing on it, you will feel this sensation. So just do a sum up is that, so when you breathe in, notice that you are breathing in and feel the sensation like coolness around the nostrils. So when we breathe out, notice that you are breathing out and try your best to feel the sensation around the nostrils and feel the warmth or something like that around the nostrils. But if you find it difficult to feel the sensation around the nostrils, you can consider focusing on the belly as the alternative and feel the fall and the rise of it, and the way that you can also use that part to meditate. So that's the basic technique of the meditation technique. But at some time, we also need to notice all kinds of small issues arising from the meditation, because one of the most challenging stuff is to sustain the attention on the breath. When we sit down to meditate and when we start to focus on the breath, any kind of small thoughts will pop up from our unconscious part of the brain. And these thoughts will develop into a distraction, because every time the thoughts pop up, we tend to interact with it, and then we will get carried away by that, and we no longer focus on the breath. So we need to overcome this. So every time we begin to get distracted, we need to develop this kind of the introspection awareness to notice that, okay, we are going to get carried away. So in that situation, we need to try our best not to interact with the thought and just come back to the breath, to focus on the breath. So this part actually consists of a huge purpose, a huge part of the purpose of meditating. Means that we need to develop this awareness to monitor our focus. Every time we tend to get distracted from the meditation object, we need to let us come back to the breath once and once again. So probably we can see that a very good meditation is that we can come back to breath time and time again. And after a long time practice, this kind of thoughts has less chance to pop up, and we can be more easily focused on the breath. And that's the way that meditation can train our brain to make us concentrate on things better. And at the same time, we can also find the peace and calm down to give our mind more space to think about the philosophical values and other stuff. So at this stage, we need to meditate to feel, to observe our mind.